It's a disease that can be deadly. It can destroy friendships and rip apart families. Statistics show excessive drinking kills more people than opioids every year. And tonight, I'm investigating the cause of alcohol use disorder and a new trend that's helping those in recovery have a social life without the temptation.
This reminds me of hanging out with the guys, watching a football game.
The big televisions on the wall, the bar stools, sights and sounds that can be triggers for Rex Taylor.
One of my biggest fears was, how do I go back into the real world? How do I go back into reality and not hide from things like this?
The room we're standing in looks like your average restaurant or maybe even a bar, but it's not. It's attached to a Jacksonville treatment facility.
This was an opportunity to learn how to exist, really, still enjoy life and not have to have a drink in my hand.
Taylor says his dependency on the bottle started as a teenager and continued into his adult life. He says he was a military kid who had a hard time fitting in, and alcohol filled a void. Around the age of 25, his life started unraveling. How much were you drinking a day?
I would easily put down a 12-pack every night on top of whatever else was, kind of the choice for the day.
But Taylor says he was able to live a somewhat normal life. He had a wife and son who loved him, and he was able to keep a job until his addiction got the best of him.
There was a lot of distrust, a lot of disbelief. My word meant nothing to anybody.
One day, he decided enough was enough.
If I don't step away, this is gonna kill me.
Taylor sought help at Lakeview Health on the city's south side.
One of the hallmarks of an addiction is that your life is out of control.
Dr. Lanty Jorenby says 60% of patients are there because of alcohol. She describes it as a brain disorder.
So the brain begins to believe, or the body or the person starts to believe they need that to live, to survive.
Taylor is almost 5 years sober. The 36-year-old is out of treatment and back in the real world, which presents its own set of challenges.
We can't hide from reality. These areas, these places, these restaurants, things like this are still going to exist. Rooms like this. This reminds me of sitting in a cigar bar hanging out with the guys.
Cheers, backseat freestyle for you. You want to try it?
Crosstown in 5 Points, another bar. The drinks are being shaken and carefully stirred. But here's the secret.
Definitely backseat freestyle. It's a play on a pina colada.
There's not a drop of alcohol in any of these glasses.
A lot of people in recovery have been coming here and hugging me, borderline kissing me, like, oh my God, you're my new hero.
Young Quintero is the creator and founder of Wildcrafters, Jacksonville's first boozeless bar.
That's for you.
It's a safe haven for people looking for an alternative outside of the normal bar scene.
A lot of people have been wanting to get back to the social life, but they feel pressure if they go to a regular bar.
A relief for people like Rex, who just want to get their lives back. What would you say to someone who may watch this story, who may be struggling with addiction?
Ask for help. Ask for help. And I've said this before, and when getting to the point of saying those words, I need help, was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done. But the minute I said them, it was like a weight lifted off my shoulders.
And according to the Centers for Disease Control, binge drinking is responsible for more than half of the 88,000 alcohol-related deaths every year. If you feel like you might need help tonight, I've posted resources in this story on our website, firstcoastnews.com. It's on our page right now.
Olympic swimmer Ryan Lochte, very public life.
Suspended Lochte.
In 2016, Ryan Lochte's name was in the headlines for all the wrong reasons.
Pulled out his gun.
People weren't talking about the 12-time Olympic medalist and his performance in the pool, but his actions outside of it. An embellished story about a gas station robbery in Rio during the Summer Olympics led to public embarrassment and Lochte apologizing on national television.
That's why I'm taking full responsibility for it, is because I over-exaggerated that story. And if I never done that, we wouldn't be in this mess.
2 years later, he's sitting down with me at the University of Florida, where he's training for the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo, to talk about the past and his future.
A lot of people say, do you regret everything that happened in 2016? I mean, I wish it turned out differently, but I don't regret it because, you know, it happened. I learned from it. I made myself a better man because of it.
A better man and now a married man to his wife, Kayla Ray Reid, a former Playboy model. He's also a new father to this precious baby boy, Caden Zane. Caden means fighter, and Zane translates to a gift from God.
All the world records, all the gold medals I've ever accomplished doesn't even compare to when I got to hold Caden.
Warm in pajamas.
The best is like when I come home from practice. I come home and I always open up the door, and wherever he's in the house, I'm like, Daddy's home. And he's like, I could hear him, like, if he's in his walker, he'll start running towards me and like with the biggest smile, and it's just that right there just makes my heart melt.
So who is Ryan Lochte? He describes himself as a positive person, maybe to a fault.
I think that sometimes people say that's my downfall because I trust everyone. And I just feel like there's a good in everyone. And sometimes people can mistake that as a weakness and try to use me.
After returning from the Olympics in 2016, Lochte appeared on ABC's Dancing with the Stars. During one of his performances, protesters rushed onto the stage. Lochte has faced public criticism over the years, portrayed as immature and self-absorbed in the media. But he says that is far from who he actually is.
I have a big heart, and a lot of people don't know that.
A heart for children. He teamed up with the Baby Otter Swim School to teach small children how to swim. And when that tragic school shooting in Parkland happened, Lochte felt compelled to help.
I just thought about, like, if that happened to my son, and like I just immediately just started like crying. I was like, because I can't understand like what those parents are going through.
He visited the school and while there, learned about Nicholas Dorette, the captain of the swim team and one of the 17 people killed.
He wrote a letter to himself saying, like, I want to make the 2020 Olympic Games, and I'll train harder, I'll dedicate my life to swimming, like this is what I want to do. And reading that letter that their parents showed me, I was really like, it really touched my heart.
Lochte asked Nicholas's parents if he can swim in the 2020 Olympics in their son's honor.
I'm not just swimming by myself. Nick will be there swimming with me.
And how are you preparing right now for the 2020 Olympics? What goes into that?
I'm getting my butt kicked every day. This is where my swimming career started here at the University of Florida. And this is where I pretty much made a name for myself.
The four-time Olympian says he's returning to his roots in Gainesville. He lives there full-time now, and Lochte admits in the past he wasn't always focused or dedicated to the sport.
When my son was born, everything changed. I had a new purpose for swimming. Everything that I do from now on, it's for my family.
A renewed focus as he swims in the waters of redemption with hope for a gold medal in 2020. Where will we see you in 10 years? What's your goals?
More kids.
More kids?
Yes.
How many kids? How many do you want to have?
I don't know, but I'm already begging Kayla for a second one. I'm like, come on, we need a girl now. Let's go.